Right, good morning everyone. Apologies for the delay. We've had technical issues this morning, but we will get started. So thank you for attending this Fire Safety Framework Tender Briefing webinar. I'm just going to go through a quick introduction. When my slides leave. So the presenters today will be Leslie Anderson, who's the Regional Director for the Scotland region, myself, Megan Wharton, I'm the Senior Procurement Officer, and then to my right I've got Paul Dawson, the Group Technical Manager here, and just off screen we've got James Ray, who is the Technical Officer. So if you've got any questions throughout, we will be pausing after each section to take questions. If you can just type it in the chat function, we've got Chris standing by. He's going to read out all the questions. If we can't answer something in the session, then we will take it away, and obviously we'll come back to with a response in the clarifications. So feel free to ask questions throughout, and we'll answer them at the end of each section. So the agenda for this morning, we're going to go over a sort of brief introduction about LHC Procurement Group. We'll then go for an overview of the actual procurement process, and then we'll go into more detail about the technical response, the pricing submission, and then we'll give an overview of the Intend portal and the structure of submitting the bids, and then we'll have a final Q&A scrub-up session. So firstly, I'd like to pass over to Leslie, the Regional Director from SPA.
Thanks, Megan. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the Fire Safety Tender webinar. As Megan says, I'm the Regional Director for the Scottish Procurement Alliance, who's the Scottish Regional Business Unit of the LHC Procurement Group. I'm sure there's some of you who are already familiar with us, but also some new organisations that aren't, so I'll provide you with a brief history and overview of the LHC Procurement Group, who we are and what we specialise in. So who are we? We are a not-for-profit procurement solutions provider. We stick to what we know, specialising in construction, refurb, retrofit, maintenance and consultancy. Our vision and mission is to improve lives and places through the impact of our products and services and the social value that's generated through our community benefit funding and activities. Promoting a positive social legacy lies at the heart of everything that we do, and our ultimate goal is to support our clients in delivering better outcomes for the communities they serve. Next slide, please, Megan. Thanks. So given a brief history of us, you're joining us at a really exciting time. LHC's been around since 1966, so 57 years. We're the longest standing construction procurement organisation, and up until the end of March 23, we were governed by a joint committee of London councils, which was hosted by the London Borough of Hillingdon. As the business has grown over the years, we've continued to service the London councils, but have also expanded out, opening up regional business units across the UK. And in April 23, following a governance review, we became a new business and launched as a company limited by guarantee. This is to ensure our future across the nations of England, Scotland and Wales, with a new board of directors that brings regional representation, expertise and experience that will drive the continued success of the business going forward. Our new established board provides wider representation across the UK, with 3 members from England, 2 from Scotland and 2 from Wales. All board members are representatives from our portfolio of existing clients. And moving to the new organisation's strengths, our core values, we are committed to staying as a not-for-profit organisation, with all our surplus funds being returned to the communities that we work with through various means such as our community benefit fund and rebates. We pride ourselves on this and will continue to do this moving forward. And we maintain our contracting authority status through our new board. Next slide, please. Thank you. So LHC Procurement Group is our overarching business, with our central team based in Uxbridge, comprising our central functions such as technical and procurement, who deliver the frameworks, finance, HR, IT and marketing. In addition, we have 5 regional business units across the UK. Each business unit has a local office. dedicated to providing the best possible service to the local clients through our regionally focused procurement solutions and services. In our regional offices, we have technical, procurement, marketing and client-facing personnel that provide expertise and support from the initiation of a project right through to completion. And it's important to know that the support we offer is not only for our clients, but also our appointed companies within those regions. Next slide, please. So LHC currently has 25 procurement solutions on offer, which comprises of 22 frameworks and 3 dynamic purchasing systems that cover a raft of construction, refurbishment, retrofit, maintenance and consultancy. The solution we're focusing on today is the next iteration of our fire safety framework, where we're looking to provide a much wider scope than the existing offering. Also, if you see any frameworks that are listed here that you're interested in, please get in touch with us. We'll be carrying out our pre-tender engagement for the next iteration of our energy efficiency framework, which is a massive framework for us, in August and September. So if this is something that might be of interest to you, please get in touch to get involved. Next slide, please. So who is eligible to utilise our solutions? Any organisation that's publicly or partially publicly funded can access our frameworks. We have a mix of local authorities, registered social landlords, universities and colleges, blue light services and charities. And you can find a list of our current partners on the regional websites. Next slide, please. So to provide you with a bit of context as to who's currently utilising our frameworks, you can see a handful of logos on the right-hand side of the slide of clients that we are working with. In 22-23, we worked directly with and supported 387 different public sector clients on 736 projects throughout the UK. We have 404 associate partners signed up across the UK. And our associate partners have registered to be members of the LHC procurement group and actively engage with us. As a member, they're eligible for our added value services, such as rebates, participate in events, best practice training, social value advisory services, and various other services that we provide. In addition, we've got clients that haven't signed up to be members, but are also still calling off from the frameworks. All of our solutions are developed with our clients in mind. We have in-depth knowledge and understanding of their needs through various means such as pre-tender engagement, through executive committees in each region, and ongoing client engagement with our face-to-face client support managers. Our local client teams support working closely with all clients in their regions, developing long-term relationships and generating leads and opportunities for our appointed companies. We also work closely with the market prior to tendering our solutions, our existing appointed companies and any new organisations that might be interested. At pre-tender engagement, we ensure that we are looking to go out to what we're looking to go out to market with, the market can actually deliver, and opening up opportunities for all types of companies to work with us. Next slide, please. So in total, £480 million of projects have been delivered through our frameworks in 22-23. And you can see on the slide the percentage usage of the different types of frameworks that cross over our elemental, refurbishment and energy efficiency, compliance, housing, public buildings and consultancy frameworks. Next slide, please. So looking at this particular framework, so the current iteration of the framework covers the fire safety consultancy and fire safety passive. There's been £18.1 million worth of projects procured through the lifetime of the framework. And you'll see from the information that's going to be presented today that the new iteration of the framework has been expanded, covering it off a much wider scope, therefore expecting a higher volume of projects to be procured through this solution. You'll see in the slides later that we're moving from our current offering of 3 work streams to providing 8 work streams in this iteration going forward. Next slide, please. So our solutions are flexible and offer clients various opportunity to direct toward or carry out a mini competition through the frameworks. between the successful appointed companies. Our Framework Alliance contract governs the solutions and encourages a collaborative approach, providing further details on the options provided through the frameworks and the dynamic purchasing system for all clients and appointed companies. And you'll see the Framework Alliance contract in the tender pack that's been provided. Next slide, please. So why work with LHC Procurement Group? We have a vast amount of knowledge and experience, procurement and technical expertise, both in our central office and our regional business units, providing the ability to offer clients and our appointed companies support throughout the lifetime of the framework and the individual projects called off. We provide ongoing project support through our technical support managers, who are there to support both the appointed companies and the clients. And they're available for support from initiation of a project, attending pre-start meetings and offering technical support throughout the project, ensuring it all runs smoothly for both parties. There's flexibility in relation to the call-off options, offering a fast, efficient route to market, and the client has the ability to use any documentation they're familiar with to run the competition and their award process. The client and appointed company agree the project-specific terms and conditions. We don't mandate this, meaning that generally the organisations don't have to revert to their legal teams to approve terms that they're not familiar with. Projects can be delivered on a project-by-project basis or alternatively delivered on a whole programme for the client. Financial gains, all our solutions are free to access. We've carried out a thorough evaluation process on both price and quality to ensure the best organisations are awarded to our solutions. The solutions offer value for money through economies of scale and also through the community benefits and social value achieved throughout the process. Both clients and appointed companies can be rest assured that they are following a fully compliant route to market. A rigorous procurement process is followed at framework tender and award stage with ongoing due diligence throughout the duration of the framework. Next slide, please. Looking at our community benefit fund, so in terms of that, if you have a look at our website links provided to get a flavour of what's happening in each of the regions, each area has a community benefit fund that is established to help channel any surplus back to our communities. By way of example, at SPA, we have an in-house charitable trust that manage that on our behalf, the Lintel Trust. And since SPA started the Community Benefit Fund in 2017, we've distributed £790,000 to date, with match funding achieved of £909,000, equating to a total value of £1.5 million spent in Scottish communities, and that also equates to £4.4 million social value that can be evidenced through those projects. All other regions have a similar setup. There's lots of information on the website showcasing the fantastic projects that have been delivered through our Community Benefit Fund, so go and have a look at those. Next slide, please. So how do we help our clients and suppliers? Support levels, as I've said before, are both to the client and the appointed companies. See us as an extension of part of your business development team. We have client-facing personnel, our client support managers, in all the regions that are out seeing clients on a daily basis, offering up solutions and establishing how we can help them deliver their projects. We're actively seeking out leads and opportunities to be procured through our solutions. We support clients with procurement, technical and marketing support. And where you have a client relationship already established, we're more than happy to attend joint meetings with you to provide an overview of LHC, the framework offerings available and how they can work with you as the appointed companies. We do case studies of projects, lots of social media and PR articles. We attend events and exhibitions. You'll see us at absolutely everything to do with construction, refurb and maintenance, showcasing the solutions that we are providing and sharing information about the appointed companies that are available on the frameworks and dynamic purchasing systems. We also provide you with a communications toolkit at the launch of every framework for our appointed companies to utilise and sell to their clients. Next slide, please. So this slide shows examples of information provided on our websites. There's a great hub of information on our regional websites that you can have a look at to see who we are, who we work with and how we operate. The most successful companies on our frameworks are the ones that engage and collaborate with us regularly and promote actually being on the framework. Celebrate your status and publicise your framework successes. As I've said before, we promote the solutions and the success of our appointed companies and showcase the projects that have been delivered, but it's also up to you as appointed companies to do the same. Working together builds on the success of the framework going forward. And that's everything from me. So if there's any questions.
We have no questions yet.
Okay,
so
brilliant. One thing I will throw out is I should have said at the beginning, both the recording of the session and the slides will be made available and sent out after this session. So everything that's covered today will be made available to you. So thank you for that, Leslie. We will now move on to the procurement process overview. So you will have seen it within the ITT document, the project timeline dates. We are obviously out to tender until the 10th of August at the moment, and the evaluation will then take place up until sort of mid-November. We're obviously going to delay notifying bidders of the outcome until the start of the new year, because otherwise we'd be having a 10-day standstill period over Christmas. With the launch of the framework to be the 1st of February next year. So as Leslie touched upon, the work streams that you see highlighted in red, those are the current offerings that we have under FS1. We've obviously expanded the scope out now to include these additional 5 work streams, which include waking watch, active fire protection, fire suppression systems, cladding, and then a multidisciplinary option. So with the procurement process, the first document to read is the ITT. So this will detail all of the appendices, all of the breakdown of the quality assessment, the pricing assessment, and the qualification assessments, the regional structures, and it's the gospel really for what you need to do to submit your bid. So within the tender pack and in the ITT, it's documented all of the appendices. So we've got the general specification. We then have the lot specific specifications. It then goes on to cover the SQ questionnaires, which are on the Intend portal, the declaration and checklist, consortium bid, further information should you be applying as a consortium. And if you are applying as a consortium, then the additional entity will need to complete an additional bidder qualification response, which is essentially the same as the SQ questionnaire, but an offline version, because we can only accept one online version. We've then got maps of the regional breakdown and the FAC 1 LHC amendments. I know we've had a question come in about would we be able to issue out the FAC 1. We can't actually issue that out. It's a licensed product and we don't hold the license to it. So we can only send out our amendments to the document. So in terms of the tender documents, the general technical response questions only need to be completed once, even if you're bidding for multiple lots. I'm aware that there's an error on the system where there's 2 versions of it. Either one's fine, they're the same document. So the general technical questions have to be answered by everyone, but only once. For the regional capability response, you only need to provide responses for the regions that you're looking to bid for. So if you want to bid for Wales and the Southwest, you'll have to you only have to respond to the questions for Wales and Southwest within the document. Obviously, if you're looking to bid for national, you'll need to complete all the regional questions for each area that you look to bid in, and you have to respond to the lot specific questionnaire for each lot you want to bid for. So the evaluation process is a qualification, quality and price. So we start with the qualification. So this will be an assessment of the SQ questionnaires that you complete on Intend. The financial stability assessment is detailed in the ITT, the minimum insurance requirements and the accreditations and certifications. At stage 1, if you're to fail any of those qualification checks, then we would let you know via the portal that we won't be progressing with your bid any further, but obviously don't expect that to happen. We then move on to the quality evaluation. The technical team will then evaluate the general technical questions, the lot specific, and our regional colleagues will evaluate the regional questions as they've got the best knowledge of their regions. And this is done alongside the pricing evaluation. So for the financial stability assessment, it's a sort of threefold evaluation. We start with a credit score. So LHC use CreditSafe to carry out initial bidder checks. And should anything be flagged, then we may come back to you for clarification. The annual turnover, which is set out in the ITT and is covered further on in this presentation, and then a sort of profitability, stability and liquidity assessment. That's all carried out by our finance department. And as I say, if there's any clarifications, then we will come back to you on those. So the insurance requirements, we've split these. So work streams 1 to 3, which is the fire consultancy, the fire risk assessments and the waking watch. The requirements are to have employers' liability insurance with a minimum cover of 5 million, public liability insurance with a minimum cover of 5 million, and professional indemnity with a minimum of 2 million. And then work streams 4 to 8, which is the passive, active, fire suppression, cladding and multidisciplinary. We are asking for a minimum of 10 million for the employer's liability, 5 million for public liability, professional indemnity at 2 million and product liability at 2 million. So for the accreditations, health and safety, the ISO 45001 is mandatory for this requirement, for this framework. Accredited independent third-party certificate of compliance within the last 12 months or have successfully met the requirements of a construction-related scheme or registered membership of the Safety Schemes in Procurement SSIP Forum. For the environmental management and quality management ISOs, they're not mandatory. So if you don't hold certification, you will have been provided the PAS 91 questions, in which you can answer the questions in place of having the certificate in place. So the quality questions, the quality split is 70%. And within that quality split, it's been split between the general questions, the lot specific and the regional. So the general questions are worth 20%, the regional are worth 20% and the lot specific are worth 30%. And this is the same across all lots, and the scoring is the same across all lot specific questions. So the lot specific is the general questions will cover general practice that everyone would cover. The lot specific will be your capability to do the specific discipline. So the regional areas we've broken down into international territory levels, ITL levels. We have moved away from using the NUT system, but ITL levels they mirror one and the same. So we'll go into a breakdown of the regions as they are. So for the North and Central England region, we have gone to NUTS level 1, which covers the North East, North West, Yorkshire and Humber, East Midlands, West Midlands and East of England. For the London and South East region, we've got NUTS level 1, which is the South East, London, and for some reason, oh yeah, sorry, and then Beds, Herts and Essex. Southwest is slightly different in this framework. So for work streams 1, 2, 3, 6 and 8, it will be a combined region. So everything within the turquoise line is what's covered. So that is the ITL level 1. However, for the additional work streams, it will be a mix of K1, that's level 2, K1, K2 and K4 combined, with Cornwall as a separate lot. So that is detailed again in the ITT a bit better than I've just explained it. For Wales, it's broken down across the 4 regions, so North Wales, Mid Wales, South West and South East. And for Scotland, again, it's broken down to level 2, which is North East, Highlands and Islands, Eastern, West Central Scotland and Southern Scotland. So the evaluation of the pricing, there are only 2 different types within the pricing schedule. So we've got it will either be a schedule of rates, labour rates and profits and overhead, or it will be day rates and profit and overhead. So they do vary within the lots, but again, that's all detailed within the invitation to tender. We've got a breakdown here of them, but obviously I won't go through all of them, but they're all worth 30%. So appointment to the framework, we're looking to appoint 6 bidders per lot per region. It says work stream, but obviously within a couple of the work streams, we've got multiple lots. So for each lot within those work streams, there'll be 6 appointed bidders, and we're looking to hold a reserve list of up to 2, should we need to expand it further. So that was a quick overview. Have we got any questions at the moment, please, Chris?
Yeah, we have one question come through concerning turnover.
Yes.
In the ITT information,
Yep.
The turnover levels were set for new companies under 3 years to have a turnover requirement of at least 250,000. For small companies with 6 years of trading history and a lower turnover, would they be able to meet the financial stability requirements, or would a lower turnover exclude them from tendering?
We will take that one offline, and we will come back to you on that one, because it's something we'll look into further. Any other questions? No, we will continue onto the technical requirements.
Okay, good morning. I'm Paul Dawson. We'll just look at the technical requirements and how to essentially fill out your ITT applications in a little bit more detail. So scope by lot, we'll just quickly run through the 8 work streams. Work stream 1 is the fire consultancy, and this element needs a turnover of 250,000. The accreditations that we're looking for is a level 3 certificate in fire safety, UCRAS accredited, or diploma in fire safety, or fire inspectors or equivalent. The scope of this is to develop fire strategies, policies, processes, emergency plans for our clients, undertake PAS 9980 assessments and EWS 1 reports, and also to provide cost benefit analysis of quotations for fire safety remedial solutions. Workstream 2 is the risk assessments. So this is fire risk assessments and block assessments, turnover 250,000. The accreditation is level 3 certificate in fire safety, or registered as a fire risk assessor by an approved professional body. There's some examples there. All of this is contained in the ITT in quite a bit of detail. So this is kind of an overview of it. If you do have any questions, then obviously drop us a note through the Intend, or at the end of this session, we'll be able to answer anything for you. Workstream 3 is the Waking Watch. For the Waking Watch, we're looking for a turnover of 100,000, and then the accreditations were certification from an approved industry body, such as Safe Contractors, UCAS, CPD certification, Institute of Fire Engineers, or Fire Warden, Fire Marshal training, or equivalent, etc. Workstream 4 is the installation, maintenance and remediation of passive fire protection. This is split into a turnover of 500,000, and the accreditations, you need to be registered to undertake the passive fire solutions and approved by a professional body, and you need to be able to undertake maintenance of fire doors, etc., also by a professional body, with some examples there. This work stream will cover fire doors, compartmentalisation, fire shutters, curtains, fire performance labelling, and fire safety signage and information. Workstream 5 is now split into 2 separate lots, which we have the installation and servicing and maintenance. So 5A is installation, 5B service and maintenance. If you wish to apply for, or if you wish to cover both elements, you'll need to apply for both lots. The turnover for this is 500,000. And then the accreditations, obviously you need to be registered to undertake fire alarm design, installation, maintenance, commissioning. You need to be registered for emergency lighting systems and be able to undertake portable fire extinguishers, service maintenance or supply, depending which lot that you're looking at. The scope will cover fire alarm systems, emergency lighting, AOV, so it's automatic opening vents, domestic smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, and fire extinguishers. Lot 6 is again split for installation, service and maintenance, and this is for fire suppression systems. It does include water mist, but water mist is not a mandatory requirement within this lot. The core scope is the dry and wet risers and the sprinkler systems. Turnovers 500,000 for both lots A and B, so it's installation and also the service and the maintenance. And you need to be registered to undertake dry riser, wet riser maintenance by an approved professional body. And you need to be registered to undertake fire sprinkler systems also by a professional body. Lot 7 is cladding, and the turnover for the cladding workstream is 500,000. And the accreditations that we're looking for in a cladding workstream is a level 6 award or qualification, which is Ofqual regulated by ABBE, which is the awarding body for the built environment, or working towards this accreditation, as we realise that this is a new accreditation, so we will accept if you're working towards this, but we'll need some evidence of that. And then workstream 8 is a multidisciplinary lot, so this is a combination of all of the other workstreams into a single pot, and we have a lot 8A and a lot 8B. 8A is the installation and 8B is the servicing and maintenance elements. Both turnovers are 500,000, and for the accreditations, it will be a requirement of what we mentioned in the other individual lots. So about the quality questions and how to fill out the paperwork. So as Megan's already mentioned, there's some general questions, there's regional questions, and then there's different technical questions for each specific lot. They're laid out as per the screen there. So we've got the general questions worth 20%, regional 20%, and the lot specifics as 30%. And then within that, we have a set of questions. On the specific technical ones, there's a set of questions there. The first one is the pass or fail. We will require copies of your certification, as you've mentioned in the scope and the accreditation requirements. You will be required to send in your certifications. So question 1 is a pass or fail on that, and then the remainder of the questions are kind of a free text box for you to explain how you comply with our requirements. So a breakdown of the questions will give you the header as to what we're looking for. So again, TCQ1, which is the left hand, is the pass or fail. We're looking for those accreditations. This is just an example for the consultancy. They do vary by professionalism. And then on the right hand side of the screen is a technical capability question for you to answer. We give you the question in the black text, and then in the blue text, we give you some examples of what you may be looking to put into your answer and what we're going to assess you on. There's 5 marks per question. You shouldn't exceed the requirements of the 1 page. There's a minimum font size, And if you use supplementary evidence to back up any claims to validate, what I would say to you is reference it correctly. If you're using a document, reference it as the page number, the section number, the paragraph number, etc. Your answers are marked on the single page submission, and any other documents you supply is supplementary evidence just to validate what you have claimed in your text response. Set of questions for the regional, as Megan said earlier, there we have 5 regions. Depending which regions you wish to bid for, you will need to complete the regional response. So if you're applying for one region, you'll need to fill out one regional response. If you wish to bid for all 5 regions, so you're a nationwide contractor, you'll need to fill out all 5 responses. They do vary slightly. And what I would say is on your regional response, make it a bespoke regional response and give evidence of the work that you have done in those regions. As we mentioned, it will be marked by regional colleagues, and they are looking for what you can deliver within those specific regions in the way of social value and community benefits. Page limits, I've just mentioned. Stick to the page limits, don't extend beyond the page limits. We will only mark the first page, we will not read beyond the first page. We're looking for concise, clear responses, and do include relevant supporting attachments, but as I said, just refer to them into the section number. Don't just say refer to document XYZ, refer to the paragraph number within the documents, as we can go straight through and read the actual supporting elements. On the questions, there may be subpoints. What you need to do is read the question, look at the subpoints, and make sure you've answered the question and also the subpoints. Probably the best way to do it is to take the question, pop it into your answer, and then so you have your heading and your subpoints, and then provide your answer against each of those elements. That makes it easier for us to understand how you've answered the question, and it just reads much clearer. Also, please use the templates that we have provided. Do not provide your own templates. Further information. So as we mentioned earlier, this is for consortium bids. So if you are a consortium or a group of organisations getting together in order to bid for this, then you'll need to complete the Appendix 10 and 11, which require further information from consortium bids. Is there any questions up to there?
Hi, Paul. We do have a number of questions come through. The first one is concerning the ICT requirements. It's referring to the lotting schedule. Concerning the number of bidders, is it 6 pointers appointed per lot or per regional area within each lot?
Both. So it's both. So say if we took lot 1, which is the fire consultancy, we would be looking to appoint 6 bidders per, say you bid for Mid Wales, South East and South West, there would be looking to appoint 6 for lot 1 in Mid, 6 for lot 1 in South East Wales, and 6, so it is 6 per regional lot.
Okay, the next question, will you look at level 3 OFQUAL regulated qualifications as well?
Level 3, of course.
Depending what lot, what I'd probably do is I would suggest send it through the Inten system as a clarification. Tell us what lots that you're wishing to bid for, and then we'll look at that.
Okay, in workstream 7, does the tendering contractor need to meet the mandatory accreditation requirements, or can these be subcontracted to a consultant?
You can subcontract, however, the bidding entity will be responsible for compliance with the framework, legalities and performance.
Okay, next question. Do we need all accreditations for each work stream?
Yes, yes is the answer, because we'll be looking for those qualifications. They're all pass and fail questions in each lot. So yes, we will be looking for those qualifications.
So I think the question is, if there's multiple qualifications, is there one that's an either or? So do you have to hit all of them, or if there's some that it says or equivalent?
So we would accept the equivalent, but obviously we'll need to have those verified. Maybe if we could put that into a question on intend, then we can look further into that.
Yeah, so any sort of lot specific qualification questions, do send them through the portal, and we can look at each on an individual case basis.
Perfect. Next question. Can you confirm when the pricing documents will come through for lot 4A?
The pricing schedule's already been uploaded. It was uploaded on Friday the 23rd of June, so you should be able to download it now.
Okay. PII policies can have exclusions which may restrict bidders from working on certain types of buildings or buildings over a certain height. We have come across some contractors that do not have adequate cover for these services. They provide due to the high cost of associated policies. We find that bidders are rarely asked to divulge these exclusions. Will bidders be requested to divulge this information?
With regards to, hopefully I understood that right. We're looking at insurance requirements, etc. We are aware that the insurance is difficult to get in some circumstances. There's obviously the high risk buildings. What we should point out is that our framework level, we're looking for the minimum as stated. A client, however, may request a higher level of insurance. So what we've put in the ITT documentation is to access the framework, and providing you can provide that and evidence that, then you're entitled to bid for the framework and be evaluated. But a call off, the client may ask you to provide a higher level.
Okay, the next question. Can you confirm if you require copies of our certificates to answer question 1 of the technical capability questions?
We would supply, yeah, we would require copies of your qualifications.
Okay, fire shutters are not usually included with passive fire protection. Should this be in the active work stream?
Say that one again, sorry.
Fire shutters.
Well, fire shutters are certainly included in the active work stream, but we're also going to be, obviously it's in 2 different work streams. We've got installation and the maintenance of those systems, so it should be covered in both lots.
I think it was shown under passive. That's something we'll take away and look at.
Okay, would you be able to provide the unit of measurement for all items in the schedule of rates for lot 4?
I need to look at that. I thought the unit of measurements were all in the schedule of rates. If they're not, then we'll take it away and we'll look at that.
If you wish to apply for a region but have no previous working experience within that region, can we submit our experiences from other regions, or would this not be accepted?
You can, and also you can come at it, answer the question from a point of view of what you would look to deliver in that region. So it shows that you've got an understanding of the regional needs, and how you would try and deliver community benefit in those regions if you don't have that example. Okay,
we anticipate to subcontract elements of these works, and as such may look to rely on our supply chain for some accreditations. Can you confirm if this is acceptable and that there are no requirements for subcontractors to subsequently complete supply questionnaires, as the only accreditations listed in the contract notice are ISOs 45001, 14001 and 9001?
Yeah, the 45001 is a mandatory one. So you can access that via SSIP through a scheme that is SSIP. You can subcontract out, as I said earlier. The bidding entity, though, is the person legally responsible for compliance with the framework terms and conditions and service. But yes, you can use your supply chain. We would, of course, require copies of their certifications.
Okay, we've had a few questions come through about these questions. Someone was asked, can you circulate the answers to these questions formally? I can say all questions are being logged and will be sent out with these slides and a recording of this presentation. And we also have a few questions concerning opportunities and pipelines. This was covered in Leslie's section, so you can look back on the video when you do see these for clarifications. And that's all for now, so we can move on.
Thank you. Okay, look at the pricing schedule. So as mentioned earlier, the pricing schedule again varies by work stream and by lot. What you'll need to do is when you go into the pricing schedule on the front page, there's an information tab. You may have to unlock the macros. What should happen is on the right hand side of the screen there, you've got your work streams color coded, and then you'll have a click box as to whether you wish to bid for that work stream or not. On the first page as well, it's got the person or the responsible person who is filling out of this form. So you need your name, position, the date, and the company name. When you actually click on the work stream, so if you was looking for a specific lot which you wish to apply for, as you click it on it, you'll get the yes. When you have the yes, so this example shows workstream 5 lot 5A. When you click the yes on the bottom tab, you'll then activate that specific tab. So now you've got your instruction sheet, which was a sheet we just looked at, and now you have workstream 5A active install. The more you click on, the more tabs will open. Each sheet is set out the same. The most important parts on the sheet are the yellow cells. The yellow cells are where you need to enter information, whether that be costs or organizational data or product data. So yellow cells are the most important. The blue cells are our evaluation procedure, and there's some information instructions in the pale pink color. So this is an example pricing schedule. This is section A, schedule of rates. You will need to enter into the yellow cells. This one has labour per item and materials per item. You'll need to enter prices in each of those yellow cells, and then the blue ones to the side are what how we evaluate it. But you'll need to enter data in every yellow cell for the work streams to which you wish to apply. When it comes to the regional selection, again, the same process applies. There's a drop-down box which you select yes or no for the region. The map on the right is the generic areas of the UK. On the left is the actual breakdown as to the regional lots. As we showed earlier in the slides, which you can refer back to once you get this presentation, you'll see the actual breakdown, which will then map against these ITL codes in the table there. But select yes for every region for which you wish to apply. Levy. Levy for the framework is 5%. The rates that you entered in your pricing sheet should be inclusive of this 5% LHC levy, but exclude the VAT. With regards to the levy is only payable upon works which you secure through the framework. The rates are also subject to a biannual uplift, so that's every 6 months we will look at these rates, and the rates will increase in line with the consumer price index. There is the link in there again, so when you get a copy of these slides, if you wish to go and have a look at the CPI, you can just click on the link and it will take you to the CPI index. There's a note at the bottom, there is no uplift on the overhead and profit percentage rates supplied, so bear that in mind also. Any questions on pricing?
Just a couple of questions, Paul. Pricing schedules asks for the price to be split by labour and materials. It can be problematic for passive. Is it mandatory?
The pricing schedules are set out for labour and materials, essentially because if we need to do a price validation, then the client may ask us to break those out. So yes, you need to fill in both the price for labour and materials.
Thank you. The cladding recommendation, the cladding remediation, got that eventually. She did not include any pricing for any cladding works. Could you advise how this will be approached?
It'll be on at call off on a project by project basis. We did originally look at pricing for elements of cladding. However, it became very complex as to essentially fixings, you know, how the cladding is secured to the building, heights and various other elements. So in order to simplify the process, we took elements of cladding out, which is why we just have the labour rate. So it will be looked at a project by project basis. What you may need to do is, depending on what the client and whether they wish to have prices validated, you may wish to have a transparent book policy on those material elements. Labour rates we would base on the labour rates which you have provided.
Okay, just had a couple of questions concerning the rebates. Would a reduced rebate be available if we introduce new clients to the framework?
With regards to rebates, it's the 5% levy is the LHC levy. At call off, you may wish to discuss with your regional business units who will introduce you to, should you be successful, and have those discussions separately.
Okay, and as an extension to that, is the 5% levy regardless of contract value, or can it be reduced for higher value contracts?
As I said, is 5% is the levy rate for this framework. At call off, have a chat with your regional business units.
Okay, and the last question, how will costs be evaluated? Will it be by lowest cost or by mean?
It's lowest price, I believe it says in the ITT.
Perfect, that's all the questions.
Thank you.
Lovely. So the final section is the e-tendering overview. So I will say up front, because I know we've had a lot of clarifications come in about empty folders. The empty folders are a folder structure that we have provided you to submit your response in. So I can assure you that all the documents that you need to have are actually uploaded, and any blank folders are what we would like you to use to submit your response in. So I'll do a quick run through. So the first section you'll see is the tender documents received main. This includes the ITT, zip folder of all the specs, the general documentation zip, which contains all the general technical regional response, Appendix 6, maps, FAC1, that's all within the general documentation zip, and the workstream pricing schedule. So as you can see, within the specification zip folder, we have the 0 to 8B. So to move on, you will need to select whether you're going to opt in or opt out of the opportunity. If you don't wish to bid, you can choose to opt out, and you at that point you will be given an option to tick to take yourself off mailing, so you will stop receiving any correspondence, because obviously I know that can get annoying. Once you've chosen to opt in, you'll need to go through and select which lots it is that you want to submit for. Once you submit the lot, it will then open up for the lot specific response folders and the question template for you. So you need to make sure that you select yes for all the lots that you wish to bid for, and no for the ones that you don't. As I was saying, in the general documentation folder, we've got all the documents that you'll need, and also the general response documents and the blank folder structure. So this is the folder structure we would like you to submit your response in. It just makes it a lot quicker when we're obviously downloading a large number of bids, if we've all got them in the same structure. So if you use the general response documents folder and then zip that one document folder up at the end and just attach that as your upload, that would be great. And as I said, once you select which lots you want to bid for, it will then open up the tender documents received lot specific. So there'll be a zip folder within each of those, and within those zip folders, you'll have the the lot specific technical response, and then you'll have the 3 folders, which is the supporting document, the technical capability response, and the pricing. Again, that's the folder structure for you to submit your lot specific responses in. If you are bidding for multiple lots, you only need to complete one pricing schedule. So you'll just complete all the tabs within the one pricing schedule, and you only need to upload it once. Intent doesn't let you upload multiple documents with the same name, so that's fine. You can just upload one copy to one of the lots that you're bidding for. So we've got the questionnaires and the placeholders. So the questionnaires, as we said, the SQ questionnaires are mandatory, and they're on the Intend portal. If you do have another entity that you want to bid with in a consortium, the lead bidder would complete the questionnaires within the Intend portal, and the secondary would complete the offline Excel document that's been provided. And then there's also the upload, the placeholder, which is the general documentation response upload. So once you've completed all of your all-gen, all-RR checklist, zip up that one folder and you will just upload it to that placeholder. And then within each of the lots, there'll be a placeholder for you to upload your one zip file with all your lot-specific response, pricing, and any supporting documents you want to submit with it. So within each lot specific, there is the upload document placeholder, as I mentioned, and there's also a questionnaire which will just serve as a prompt to ask you, have you completed and attached these documents that we require with this lot specific upload. So it's not a questionnaire in terms of needing to answer questions. It's a checklist prompt question more than anything else. So clarifications and correspondence. So we will be issuing a clarification log each week. We will aim to do this on a Monday. So we allow sort of the questions to come through up until the close of play Friday, and we'll issue out the responses to all of those on a Monday. So within the clarifications, there'll be a clarification log, and it will have an attachment. Open that attachment, because I do think a lot of people miss those. And any questions that you ask won't be necessarily answered directly via Intend, but via the clarifications, because chances are a question that one person's got, many others have got. If we need to contact you directly about your bid, we'll use the correspondence tab and message you directly. So please do go and have a look at the clarifications. The questions that come out of today's session and the slides will be put in that clarifications log section. And that is the end. If we've got any final questions, we can take them now, or if you have anything that comes to you after this session, as we say, please send us a message directly through the Intend portal, and we can come back to you. So I'll ask you for questions, Chris.
We just had one question come through, which may have been covered earlier. We're unable to find where to upload regional general response templates. Can you advise where these can be found?
Yeah, so there's one placeholder for the so everything that's in the general response templates needs to be zipped into one folder, and then there's one placeholder to upload, which will be for the general document response. And as I say, a copy of these slides will have actually been sent out for the Intend upload section, and obviously they'll be covered in this. So if you need any sort of reminders, it will all be covered in this presentation.
Someone has asked for more clarification on call-offs regarding opportunities and turnover. Are you specifically able to provide estimated call-off project value based bands for each work stream? For example, would lots 7 and 8 be a higher value of works due to their nature of these lots?
We don't have specific pipelines at the moment. The reason we've split out and expanded the scope of this framework is based on client feedback that these services are needed. So we do expect to receive quite a fair amount of work through these new work streams. But we don't have a specific pipeline at the moment, so we don't have breakdowns of what we're expecting through each one.
Okay, and the next question covers a similar subject. There'll be 6 bidders in one region per lot. Can you confirm what the total value and spend is per year for lot 4A? I
No.
believe this refers to potential
It's-
pipelines.
Yeah, it does. It goes back to pipelines. We can give a breakdown of what we had previously because we did previously have the passive work stream as sort of an estimate, but obviously as I say, pipeline and going forward, it's very much a finger in the air.
Okay, we've had a question concerning qualifications. For the workstream 1 qualifications, are you saying that one member of staff needs to have a level 4 diploma in fire safety or equivalent? Because this isn't something that is available for the company as a whole.
We're looking for at least one member of staff to hold the qualification. We're kind of aware that, you know, we can't expect everyone to hold a certain qualification. So yes, at least one member of staff within the organisation needs to hold that, and that will be sufficient, providing you send us through a copy of such certification so as we can validate it.
Okay, that's all the questions, and just wanted to confirm that a loggable questions will be sent with the presentation, and that will include any questions that haven't been answered today.
Perfect, thank you. So thank you. I know we've overrun slightly, but hopefully you found it beneficial. And as I say, if you have any further questions, please do send them via the Intend portal, and we will pick them up and come back to you with a response. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.